Here we go. All right, welcome to The Highway, Season 1, Episode 2, where we're going to conclude 2022. I am your, which I would say, host.
You the man.
I am your host. Did I say my full name? I think I did. Ryan Hutton. I'm looking at my legal counsel, the SME, who's also with us. And we also have Bird on the scene.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird.
Bird is a word. Bird, 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 bird.
Bird is a word.
Is that a bird, bird, bird?
Bird is a word.
Is that a bird, bird, bird? Bird is a word. All right, low budget podcast. So clearly that was just me streaming the bird on my iPhone 14 and putting it up to the mic. But we do have the bird.
I'm here, and I'm ready.
And you do have the word.
Yeah, sort of.
He does have the word. So, yeah, this is Season 1, Episode 2, concluding 2022. Excited to be here recording Episode 2. Episode 1, hopefully you enjoyed it. Continue to kind of develop and learn as we go here. But since this is, I guess by the time this drops, it will be 2023. Okay, I'm getting the shoulder shrug from the Shmee, who also doesn't know, which is not a good idea. But by the time she edits this stuff out, probably 2023, because really today's date is December, what are we at, 10th? Yeah, the 10th. So we're going to do a year in review. I guess an extracted year in review? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm getting extracted, which maybe we do a bird.
We could dabble.
Year in review. You can dabble.
You don't want to dabble on that.
I mean, I feel like once we get on topic of extracted year in review, we're also going to cross over.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't accomplish as much.
Well, I mean,
I didn't do much.
But, you know, we're going to talk about, well.
I mean, you're traveling across, the country, or the U.S.
Yeah, but, we're going to talk about some non-formal.
I went to Miami, Oklahoma.
To get some cigars.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, clearly. By the way, do we say the cigars are lit and the whiskey is poured?
Yeah.
Okay, getting a head nod on that. Also from our legal counsel, head nod on that.
She knows exactly.
She knows exactly what to do to keep us on task, which is never, ever, ever going to happen.
No.
All right, so year in review. Really, you're going to be the host of this one.
Yeah,
so,
I'm going to take the reins.
Yeah,
Let me take it
back. You know what? I'm going to step back.
I want it.
And you're on it.
Hey, I'm an all-star. Give me the ball, coach.
You're the talent.
Yeah. All right.
You're the talent. I mean, really, it is.
Showbiz, baby.
All right. The what does the captain say? The wheel is yours. The ship is yours.
Yeah.
What is it?
The
helm is yours. No, that's not right. They give it to we got the SME. Get us what do they say in the Navy when they turn it over? When the captain turns it over to the second or third, or I don't know, in command. Something is yours. Now I feel like I should have.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I should have been prepared. The ship is. It's not the ship is yours. The deck is yours.
The deck?
Is it the deck?
The deck?
Hang on, we're waiting on the Shmee. Really, we may have to fire her because this is taking way too long. I feel like she should.
Google ain't working. Google ain't working.
She should have thought what we were going to ask.
Yeah. In our head.
Have been prepared for what.
Helm. Okay.
The helm.
The
helm is yours.
What's helm? What's that even mean?
The deck.
I think it's the wheel. Is that the wheel?
The actual
The wheel.
The helm.
Okay.
The wheel.
The helm. I'm going to say the cast is yours.
Hey.
I'm going to step back. And by step back, I mean figuratively because I'm in a booth.
Yeah, you can't move.
Go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
All right, so the ship is yours.
All right, so Ryan, you've done a lot.
Oh, hang on. The Shmee is weighing in. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's just telling us what a helm is. To take position of full control or authority in an organization. So the helm is yours.
And I want it. I'm here.
It's all yours.
All right. So, Ryan, you've done a lot this year. 2022 has been a traveling, getting to see, getting to do a lot of things.
Yeah, it's been good.
Let's talk about it. What I know you have multiple places that you would, label as your favorite, but let's narrow it down. What's your favorite conference and class?
All right, so and preparing for this episode, we talked about, I don't remember where I've been, but I've been several places. So 2022 was a phenomenal year, which is I'm very thankful for that some people will allow me to come and talk. And honestly, a lot of times I have what's called, I guess, imposter syndrome. Is that something? Given the nod from Shmee, the imposter syndrome, where I don't feel like that I'm should be in that situation where I should be talking to a bunch of people, but apparently that's what they want me to do. So that's what I do. So yeah, I was fortunate enough. 2022 is probably one of the best years I've had as far as teaching and traveling, and 2023 looks like it's going to be even a little bit better because I think hopefully by the time this podcast airs, I'll have an announcement of actually going internationally. So
Absolutely.
travel.
Boy,
to
that'd be
another country.
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. But so I guess we want to you want to do top 5? You think?
Yeah, if you could put it in order.
Okay.
Or put it, 1 to 5.
So again, went to a lot of places, and I don't mean to knock any of these. That if you didn't make the list, it's not anything that I didn't like. It's just ones that kind of were memorable to me for certain reasons. We'll talk about, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll tell you about
absolutely.
why they're memorable to me. But so the top 5 conferences that I went to, if I had to list them in order, starting with number 5, going to number 1. Number 5 would be Virginia. I went to I think it was Virginia Traffic Safety something. I'm going to say Traffic Safety Conference. I can never remember the names of all these. But went to Traffic Safety Conference. I flew out, I want to say, I don't know, on a Tuesday. I taught Monday morning and flew out. I'm sorry. Flew out on a Tuesday, taught Wednesday morning, flew out Wednesday night. So it was like, boom, in and out.
Yeah.
All right. So I fly in. I had been gone several days before. I remember kind of missing home. But I fly in. They put me up in I don't know, Hilton. It was a nice hotel. But I remember missing home, and I thought I should probably grab something to eat, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Fly in. I'm hungry.
You should be.
Yeah, as
you
should be, because obviously I probably flew United, which was one of the worst decisions I've ever made. If anybody's listening, do not ever fly United. I cannot stand them.
Yeah.
Anyway, flew United. Get to the hotel. I thought, I'm going to go grab a bite to eat. And 2 blocks away is an Applebee's. Do you like Applebee's?
Do I like Applebee's?
That's what I thought.
I love them.
I thought, why would I not go have... Is it chicken crispers? No, Chili's is a chicken crisper.
Yeah, no.
It's the fajita lime salad. Hang on, can you verify?
Yeah,
I think it's
verify that. But I know that they do the margaritas, don't they?
They do have the margaritas.
Yeah, good deal on Marks.
They do have a good deal on Mars, but I wasn't feeling... Actually, I did have a few...
Did you?
Have a few, not margaritas, but I did have a few brewskis.
Okay, good.
Because so I walk into this Applebee's. I walked there, number one, so I didn't have a car. I had
Right.
an Uber from the airport to the hotel. So I get to the hotel, which is not a problem, right? Get to the hotel and walk to the Applebee's, and I walk in, and there's stuff all over the counter. Like, so I sit at the bar, because I'm usually traveling by myself. So I sit at the bar... dirty dishes, whatever. The guy, he's like, hey, listen, I'm the bartender. We're short-staffed. I apologize. No big deal.
Cool
Right?
bartender.
Yep. He
you gotta respect
apologized.
that.
No big deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, brother, what can I get for you? So I go in there, and I get the fajita lime chicken or fajita lime platter, something like that. It's a pretty good dish.
With some rice on the side? Or
It did, yeah.
Did?
So chicken, maybe some black beans, some rice. Looks like I'm getting the official word of what this is.
Literally got the Applebee's
Literally
menu
have
pulled
the
up.
Applebee's app. Yep, Fiesta Lime Chicken. I knew it. 1,170 calories.
That's right.
Which is right where I'm at.
That's right. Go ahead and
So
order that.
I order this bad boy. Yeah, can we get an Uber Eats out
Yeah.
there?
Can we get one?
So order the Fiesta Lime Chicken, and I wait 6 beers, if that makes sense. And I'm not a fast drinker, you know that.
Yeah.
Right? So I wait 6 beers.
Absolutely.
So I get the Fiesta Lime Chicken, I don't know, hour and a half later, bartender apologizes. Again, no big deal, whatever. So I eat said Fiesta Lime Chicken.
Yeah. Sounds great, by the way.
Yeah, it's delicious. I walk back to my hotel room, and I think I ended up calling one of my supervisors. They needed something, and I remember my stomach just...
Ooh.
Yeah, giving me the old bubble guts.
The signal.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Something's about to happen.
Yeah, so I immediately thought, all right, this isn't good, right? So go to the bathroom, do my thing, basically that night out of both ends. Mouth.
The attic and the basement.
The attic and the basement, both begging for mercy, all right? So get up the next day, immediately taught. I want to say, I don't know, 8:30. It wasn't like super immediate, but I had to get up early. So I get there, Uber to the conference, and I remember just yakking right before the conference.
Ooh.
Also going in there, the old basement needed to vent a little bit. And I remember getting ready to present. So I don't know, there's probably a couple hundred people there. And I get ready to talk about, I want to say it was marijuana and driving, or green labs and driving, or something to do with drugs and driving. And I thought, I don't think that I can do this.
Right.
I'm pretty confident that I'm dehydrated. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to pass out. Fortunately for me, I did do it, and everybody said that it went well, but I wanted to puke and also, honestly, poop my pants. For me,
That's never a good feeling, especially in front of 100 people.
It's never a good feeling,
No.
especially when there was questions being asked. I thought, this is not good.
This is not ideal.
Not good. So I had my bag with me, get to the, finish the conference, basically sprint to a bathroom, get to the car that they provided, and then shipped me to the airport, and away that I went. So it wasn't the conference itself. It was basically the experience, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before.
I have a question, and it's kind of sidetracking to my original question. What's it like to speak in front of that many people? Like, do you have? I know that from what I've heard that you have a good character and keep it interesting. But what's it's 100 people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, 100's not, and I don't mean this in any sort of bragging way. Or 100 is really not that much. So the very first conference that I ever did was the Missouri DRE, or Drug Recognition Expert. So those that don't know. A law enforcement conference. There's probably 250, 300 people there. So that was the first time I ever taught, and I remember just reciting the presentation in my room over and over and over and over again. And something a lot of people don't know is I hate public speaking.
Really?
I do not like...
Boy, you found yourself right in the middle of it.
Quite the conundrum, right?
You
Quite
got
the
yourself right in the
conundrum,
middle
yeah.
of it.
So I do not like public speaking. So I remember being super nervous, and I was paired with another officer from Columbia PD who's phenomenal. And we did basically a co-presentation. So it was basically baptism by fire. So I started out with 200, 300 people, which was not good at the time, but looking back was probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
To just get it over with, which, so, it's, every time that I do it, whether it's 20 or whether it's, 500, 600 people, 1,000, whatever it is, I get nervous every time. But I do not like public speaking. I've told a few people that, but most people don't know that I just actually don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't tell.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But I get pretty nervous before.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I'm talking in front of maybe 10 people at most at one time, and I'm kind of scared about it.
So real quick, I actually failed public speaking in college.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, couldn't get it.
So that guy really at school didn't really know what he was talking about.
Apparently couldn't get it done.
Well, I mean, like, look at you now.
I had to give a speech on shining shoes and got a failing grade on how to shine shoes.
Maybe the old professor didn't know what he was doing.
Well, again, don't like it, but
you do it.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got Virginia down for number 5.
Yeah, so Virginia's number 5. Number 4 is going to be North Dakota. So North Dakota was, if we're being completely honest, I was teaching at another, I would say, week-long class.
Okay.
And I taught, I want to say, that Tuesday until about 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Drove to the airport. Flew out that Tuesday night, got to North Dakota. The gentleman there picked me up. I taught the next morning, Wednesday morning, and then flew back Wednesday morning to teach so that I could teach Thursday morning. So I was basically gone for one day.
Yeah.
But anyway, phenomenal conference. I met a ton of super awesome dudes who I've met at other conferences, and they're just phenomenal. There's a bunch of state troopers out there who are just great dudes. But anyway, what I remember about this conference, once again, is not the conference itself, it's the experience. Right? So the guy picks me up from the airport, and he's driving like a white Toyota Tundra. Super guy. Never met him before, right? Which is always kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Right?
Getting in a vehicle with somebody. It's
a
like,
stranger.
Yeah, you're like,
right. Yeah. He texts my phone. I'm in a white Toyota Tundra, and I just get in the car with him.
You might be on the news next.
Yeah, you never know, right? So get in the car. Again, super dude drives me to Baymont, and I remember walking in the Baymont, and there was no carpet. So I'm like in the lobby. Right?
Okay.
And there's no carpet. And then looking down the hallways, there's no carpet.
No carpet anyway.
This is kind of weird, right? I've stayed in my fair share of hotels. So start walking down I get checked in, start walking down the hallway there, and my shoes.
Oh, God. You're that guy. You're that guy.
Yeah. Well, it starts sticking.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what is this? Well, what had happened is they pulled the carpet up, but there was still glue.
That glue on the bottom side.
So as I'm walking down this hallway, my shoes, but it's
worst.
like pulling my shoes off. So I had to lean down and retie my shoes so they didn't come off.
Oh my goodness.
So the whole time, of course, I'm, the last room. It was a big conference center. It wasn't just a hotel. So it was, on a whole nother building or whatever. But I was a long ways away, up some stairs. And I the whole way. Anyway, ended up, getting my room. No big deal. Got a good night's sleep. Conference went great. Met some, again, super dudes. My way back to the car. And I remember there was like a van. This guy, he's not Uber. And he's not a taxi, but I remember he worked for the hotel and he picked me up in his personal van.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a 92 Chrysler.
Baby, that's
something.
That's the go-to.
Yeah, I was worried we were going to start picking up chicks.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't.
Yeah. So, I'm like, again, I'm not a ride snob or a hotel snob, but I'm thinking, what?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah, what? Who is this guy?
What's going on?
So, got in with him. Good dude. We pick up like 3 or 4 more businessmen, and he takes us to the hotel and drops us off. Didn't cost a dime, but it was just it was interesting experience.
Right.
Conference was great. Experience was great. Travel was great. Got back the next day and was able to teach, and nobody really ever knew I was even gone. So
really?
In and out. Yeah, I was gone a day, in and out, taught Tuesday night and Thursday morning. Yeah,
Heck yeah.
And went up by Canada somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember where it was at, but somewhere in North Dakota. Pretty state. So that's number 4.
Number 4. So let's move on to number 3.
All right, let's
talk about it.
So number 3 is pretty interesting to me because I've never been to Wyoming. And so I got invited to Wyoming, which I must have done a decent job because I got invited back in 23.
Yeah, I would say so.
So got invited back 23. So I get there in 22, and I would say a friend of mine is the one who invited me to speak at the conference. So I get there. I don't get there. I got a little ahead of myself. So I fly from, I think it's St. Louis to Denver.
Okay.
So I fly St. Louis to Denver. United, once again, the worst.
Yep.
And get in Denver, catch my connector, and I'm headed to, I don't remember the airport, but I'm headed to a small airport in Wyoming. All right. So it's like a 30-minute flight from Denver to this, maybe Cheyenne.
Okay.
I don't remember. It's a small town in Wyoming. So like a 30-minute flight. So the captain's like, hey, we're going to be up and we're down. I'm like, cool, phenomenal. So we get up, and 30 minutes, I can feel us, going down. And we get probably, I'm going to say, I'm not super good. I've never flown a plane or anything, but I say we get 500 feet off the ground.
Okay.
And we're shaking. And what I mean, like, the wings up and down, up and down. I'm like,
yeah.
And I, again, never flown a plane, but I'm thinking this isn't ideal.
Kind of had like a little crosswind.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think that's the perfect thing, crosswind.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this isn't ideal, right?
Yeah,
So,
you get the pucker factor.
yeah, I'm thinking we're either crashing or we're going back.
Yeah.
Something's happening here.
You might meet the boy upstairs.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I'm thinking, of course, every time you go to you get on a plane and you think you're going to crash, you immediately go, "Why did I do this?
Yeah, you start
I'll
going
never,
through all this
I'll never
stuff.
do it again.
Oh,
Dear
Lord,
God, forgive me for all these
Yeah.
things." Right. So we start rocking back and forth, and next thing I know, he gooses it. We take off again.
Oh, so you come close.
Yeah, we don't land.
You don't land.
So we're like 500 feet.
And then he gooses it
He
back up in
gooses
the
it,
air.
and we go back up in the air. And I thought, oh man, okay, this is what is this? Right?
Yeah.
So we get all the way back up, and the pilot comes across and says, hey, listen, it's too windy. We can't land.
Okay.
So let's just say this was a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I taught 8 a.m. Thursday morning in, some town. Where's the University of Wyoming? What town is that in?
Laramie.
Okay, Laramie. That's it.
Okay.
So I taught in Laramie.
Without a Google.
With the Shmee coming in with no
Coming
Google.
in hot.
Okay, Laramie. Probably because she's... Is it because you've scheduled me this year in Laramie?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Nice.
The biggest town.
okay.
All off the dome.
So I'm thinking, all right, I got to be in Laramie the next day at 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So we go back to Denver.
You fly back to Denver
Yeah.
after not landing.
Correct.
Oh
so
my
we go
goodness.
back to Denver, and at this point, it's midnight. And I'm thinking, this isn't good, right?
No.
And knock on wood, I've never missed a conference. So I go to rent a car, and I call my contact. She's like, yeah, just rent a car. No big deal. So I go to rent a car, and they're like, listen, we have no more cars. I'm like, well, okay, this is a problem. Can't run to Laramie from
Yeah.
Denver, right?
I mean,
Well,
could you?
I mean,
I mean, maybe.
maybe.
I mean, you got a lot of miles on your
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah. I mean, in 8 hours, maybe not.
Ah, yeah, that's.
I don't know. I would have tried it. Would have tried
I
it.
wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
So there's this guy. Actually, let me back that up. So there was a few cars left, but they said they don't have enough cars for everybody. So I kind of misspoke.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I got to get a game plan, right? So there's a couple guys I recognize from my plane.
Okay.
So I get these guys and I say, hey, listen, there's 3 of them. I say, listen, we get up there, we all get one car and we drive to Laramie because they've got a limited number of cars. And they're probably mid-20s, 25, maybe early 30s, same age as me. And the guy looks at me and says, are you an ex-murderer? And I said, if I was, would I tell you? And he says, good point. We're in.
Solid question.
We're in.
Yeah, we're good.
So all 3 of them were like, yeah, we're in. So we get up to the counter as a group. We say we need 1 car for 4 of us, and we rent a car.
Okay.
So me and 3 guys who I've never met before, nor have seen to this day,
Right.
hop in a, what's a small Toyota? Is it a Corolla?
A Camry? Maybe a
Whatever
Corolla?
whatever the smallest version is. And we stop at a gas station there right outside of Denver to get something to eat. And we drive all the way to Laramie.
Wow.
And I want to say, how long is it from Denver to Laramie? 4 hours? 6 hours? Looks like we got, 2 hours. Wow, it's not that bad.
You could have ran that.
So we didn't get there till 5. So it must have been the wait for the bags and all that stuff. We didn't get there till 5. So drove, quote unquote, through the night, get to my hotel, 5 a.m. I actually had a webinar to do in Missouri at 7 a.m. because of the time difference.
Oh.
So I did a webinar from 7 to 8 and then talked in Laramie at 8 a.m.
Right.
And I was in the big room. So I don't know what you call that, where you talk to everybody, not just a break off, whatever it is. So I talked to everybody. It was about marijuana. Phenomenal experience. Had no issues getting back. Met a super awesome United employee who gave me a voucher because I told him about the whole deal. Had to rent a car, whatever. He gave me a voucher and said, hey, use this in the airport. It's only good for today. So I get to Denver and he says, hey, it's good for restaurants, whatever. So there's gate 46 is where I always seem to connect out of. It always goes back to St. Louis. There's a little Mexican restaurant right there. So I sit down 30 minutes early and I said, hey, give me as many Mick Ultras as this little thing will buy. Never had a voucher, right?
Right.
And she's like, oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right? So I got 35 minutes. She brings out 7 aluminum cans.
Mickey Ultra.
What do I have to do at that point?
You got to put them away.
Yeah.
You can't waste them.
What am I going to do?
Can't have wounded warriors running around.
Sure. Absolutely not. So finish those, get on the plane, land, game over.
Game over.
Yeah. So again, Wyoming, great experience. I did end up renting a car with 3 random people that I have no idea who they were.
Were they pretty cool though, right?
Yeah, they were pretty cool. Yeah, the guy was driving super fast, and I remember he was talking about, oh, I hope we don't get caught. State troopers this, state troopers that. I'm like, nah, dude, we don't got to worry about it. Keep going.
You know some people.
Keep going, bro. Keep going, bro. Number 2 would be Louisiana.
Oh.
Yeah.
Down there in the old... Is it New Orleans?
So it was not technically New Orleans. It was some sort of, which I would call suburb, right outside of New Orleans. But basically the biggest, like where they told us not to go was New Orleans, which is like right down the road.
Right.
So I don't remember what it was. I think they called it a parish. Does that sound right?
That's what they call them, like the suburbs in New Orleans.
Okay. So again, that's what they call the suburbs.
It's like the outskirts.
Yeah.
It's a French vibe.
Okay.
Yeah. I could totally see New Orleans.
Right.
Right.
Where they told you not to go.
Yeah, what I told me not to
Did
go.
it
Right.
in your heart? Did you kind of?
I did. Now that they told me not to.
You kind of
They
had
said
that little drive.
Yeah. Well, they
kinda wanna
said it
go.
wasn't safe.
Who said?
My hosts, I would say.
Okay.
My host said it wasn't
And what's
safe.
safe to them?
No, they're good, they're good people. Like, but I'm with you. You say, like, don't do it.
Kind of want to do it.
Definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
So, this one was pretty cool. So, host picks me up, go to the conference. Conference was phenomenal. Super awesome people, which you've never met, like, deep south, deep southern people.
Right.
You're missing out. So, anyway, do the conference. Well, afterwards, I was invited to somebody's home.
Oh wow.
So typically how the conferences go is you teach, Then afterwards, you and the people who hosted you go out to a dinner.
Okay.
There's drinks. You go to your hotel, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
So this one's pretty interesting because they invited me to their home,
Wow.
right?
Because you've went to hotels previous.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you went
So,
back.
yeah. And I was sleeping in a hotel that night, but they invited me to their home, their
Wow.
residence, for dinner.
Man, they must really like you.
Southern hospitality, man.
Yeah,
It's alive and well.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
So my host picks me up, and she drives me to, I believe it was a prosecutor's house. And so me and the prosecutor chit-chatting, her husband's there, kiddo's there upstairs. There's probably about 5 or 6 of us.
Okay.
All right. So, having a cocktail or two, and they say, hey, have you ever sabered a champagne bottle?
A what?
Yeah, sabered, S-A-B-R-E-D, sabered, like with a saber.
You're gonna talk us through
Yeah.
what happened.
Okay, so I'm having the same reaction as you
Yeah,
are.
because I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, they tell me, have you ever sabered a champagne bottle? I'm thinking, I don't even know what a saber is.
Yeah.
What do you mean champagne bottle? So I'm thinking this is the equivalent of snipe hunting in Missouri.
Oh, so you think
I'm
they're
thinking
goofing?
it's a trick.
Yeah, they're goofing with
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to be the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Right? No, I ain't sabering a champagne.
Heck no.
So they're like, no, it's real. It's a legitimate thing, and we're gonna call somebody and have them bring a saber over. Well, when I say saber, what do you picture?
When you say
When I say saber, or if I say, hey, listen, I'm about to saber something, what am I holding in my hand?
a lightsaber.
That's what I thought. I'm thinking a freaking...
I'm sitting there thinking that instantly you said it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, kick
I'm like,
it off.
those
let's
don't
do
even
it.
exist. How can I saber...
Those aren't real.
They're not real.
Those aren't real. You ain't cutting through no.
So they
bottle.
say, we're going to bring over... We'll have this... I forgot her name. Really nice lady. We're going to bring over a saber. And I'm thinking, God, this is going to be awesome.
So she's like,
I'm bought
you
in.
thinking like Star Wars.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
she's
bought
gonna
in.
come in.
I'm bought in at this point. She's about to Jedi herself
Yeah.
through the door. So she brings over this box, and I'd say it's probably, 18 inches long, maybe 24 inches long. She opens it up, and it looks like to me a huge, like, fillet knife.
Okay.
All right, so it's got,
wow.
it's got a blade probably 12 inches, handle another 16 inches, somewhere around there.
Wow.
And it's in this real nice velvet case. So I pull it out, and they're like, okay, you got a saber.
So they're expecting you to know what to do with it.
I'm going, okay, I don't want to look like an idiot.
You're like sitting there like,
Well, yeah, so I'm going, yeah, I am. I'm swinging
Yeah,
it around like a moron, right? And they're like, no, you saber the end of it off. I'm like, what do you mean? So they hand me a champagne bottle, and they're like, you just cut it off. So I'm thinking, like, the saber slices through it. So I whack it, pop! And it just shatters, like, the whole end of it. They're like, yeah, you can't, that's not
how you do it.
That's not what we
that's
mean.
not saber.
So apparently you take a champagne bottle, and you hold, like, the part you would pour it out of away from you.
Okay.
And you slide the saber down the champagne bottle.
Down the neck of it, kind of.
Down the neck, yeah. And it hits where the cork's connected.
Right.
And it actually knocks off the piece of glass, and it's like a clean break.
So, okay. So what's the difference in just pulling the cork out?
I don't think there is a difference.
It's just cool, fascinating.
I guess so.
And they hire somebody to do that?
No, I did it.
But
I mean, I
then
guess technically they hired
they
me,
came.
yes.
Somebody came to the house.
No, the person that came to the house just had the saber. So she was the saberette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she had the saber. The people that I was with did not have a saber. And again, just a knife. So you saber the end of it, it breaks off, champagne comes out, you pour champagne, you drink it, which I don't really drink champagne.
So nobody's worried about glass in their champagne?
No,
or?
apparently it's a clean break.
Did you do it on the second? You
The
did
first
on
one
second.
I just whacked and it just shattered.
So they had multiple.
They knew.
They're like, hey, this guy's gonna screw
this
it
guy's
up.
gonna break something.
This guy's from Missouri.
Yeah, this guy's an
he
idiot.
he don't know what a saber
This guy
is.
barely has a high school education.
He's out there, throwing a knife around like a lightsaber.
This guy probably thinks it's a lightsaber. That's what they were thinking. And I did.
And they were right.
They were
They
totally
thought
right.
correctly.
So
Perfect.
one other weird tradition is apparently they put babies in cakes.
I do what?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, babies?
So that's what I said.
It's called
They-
a king cake.
A what?
A what?
A king cake.
All right. So the Shmi said it is a king cake. So they're like, oh, let's have a king cake. So they give me a slice of this. I thought it looked like a big chocolate chip cookie. And they give me a slice of it. Well, in the chocolate chip cookie is a baby toy. Yeah, about an inch tall. I still got it in my bag. It's about an inch tall. It's a little bitty baby. And apparently, whoever gets the baby in the slice of cake has to buy the next king cake next time. And they made sure that it clearly, being a guest, that I had the baby in the cake. But my question is, why are we putting babies in cakes?
Yeah, that brings up a great question. Like a choking hazard, is it big enough to choke on? If you take a big
definitely.
bite?
Most definitely.
So adults only.
I guess. Why? Yeah, wouldn't that be traumatic for a kid to
choke down a baby?
Into a baby?
A baby choking down a baby? That doesn't make any sense.
So, again, great experience. These people invited me into their home. It was phenomenal. They cooked homemade jambalaya, which I typically wouldn't eat, right?
Yeah.
But it was delicious. Great experience. I would totally go back if they invite me back. But phenomenal. So that's why New Orleans is my numero dos on my list of places that I went to in 22.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thrown off by the whole baby thing.
Again, the baby's still in my bag. That's how thrown off I am. I still have it. Like I feel like I need it as evidence.
To tell that story. You got to have it.
Because someone's going to go, they don't put babies in cakes.
Yeah, well, because when you said there's a baby in the cake, I instantly thought of like a 9-month just setting them in the, in the cake, and you have a baby literally
Well, that's what I
up.
thought. I'm thinking I'm out of here. They're putting a baby in a cake.
Have you seen those cakes that they make out of babies? Like literally design them as babies? That's awkward as stuff. That's awkward.
You think I want to chop this baby's leg off?
Who's taking the first cut? They're psychos.
Right. And where do you cut into?
Yeah.
The body?
Yeah, either way, you're psycho. Now, if you
I'm not eating the cake that's shaped like a baby.
No, absolutely not.
But apparently I ate a cake that had a baby in it.
Had a baby in it.
All right, so I see the Shmee working diligently.
What we got here?
What's the purpose of having a baby in a cake?
So it is a Christian faith tradition in the South, and it is the baby is symbolic of baby Jesus. And
wait a minute.
The name king cake comes from the biblical story of the 3 kings who bring gifts to baby Jesus. And it usually is consumed in honor of the Epiphany or the 12th night, which marks the arrival of the 3 kings, so in January.
But why are we putting the baby in the cake?
It's
I get what the baby means.
It is
symbolic
of the baby Jesus. I don't know. It's a New Orleans Catholic Christian faith.
Okay, because it's a predominantly Catholic state, right?
Yeah.
For the
French
most part?
Catholic, yeah.
Okay, French Catholic.
What happens if you accidentally choke down a little
What
symbolic
if I
baby
died
Jesus?
on the baby?
I mean, everybody, I feel like,
What do you mean?
that area is probably looking out for the
I
baby.
wasn't from the
Well,
area.
you're not from that area.
Yeah, what if you would have choked down a little baby Jesus?
And I died on a baby.
You'd have
Can
the
you
Holy Spirit
imagine?
in you.
Can you imagine? Ryan died eating a baby.
Not a very good...
Not a good way to go out.
Definitely how we would spin it, though, for sure.
I would probably spin something way
If
cooler.
you think for one second that people would correct that I didn't actually eat a baby, you're wrong. I would go down as a baby eater.
Yeah, and that's something that I think we'd have to spin to make it look a little cooler.
Probably.
I'd have to.
So, I mean, it goes into depth on, like, what the colors of Mardi Gras and the whole thing mean.
Green, purple, gold.
Yeah, what they mean. So, purple, which signifies justice. Green, which is for faith. And gold is for power.
Was this baby... What was
So
this?
the baby's like a normal flesh-colored baby.
So is it like some baby I can
But
go
the
pull
cake
out
is
of it?
usually decorated in the
Okay,
colors
yeah.
of
So the
Mardi Gras.
king cake was definitely gold, purple,
Purple, and
green.
green.
Oh,
No
okay.
doubt about
All
it.
right, all
no
right.
doubt about it. I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Number one, why am I savoring bottles? Number two, why am I eating baby?
Why are you cutting baby Jesus out of a cake?
I didn't know it was baby Jesus. I thought it was just a normal baby.
Yeah, at that point would be more confusing.
If they didn't explain that to you, then yeah, that's
No, they
part of
give me a piece of cake. Again, I'm in their living room, which is this huge. It's not like our living room that we're used to. It's like a huge table, where like I'm on one end and like the husband is on the complete opposite end. But this is like a 30-foot table,
Oh, wow.
and like you close the doors to the living room, and the only thing in there is the table and you're eating. That's it.
So is it a dining room?
What did I say? Living room? Yeah, dining room. It's a dining room.
You can eat wherever.
Yeah, I'll eat wherever I want.
Yeah, that's
I'm eating
right.
babies. I'll eat
That's
if I
right.
want to eat in the dining.
If you want to eat baby Jesus, you're going to dang
I'll
well eat
the
him.
baby in any room that I want. So again, complete a different experience. I've never had that happen.
A new
Never ate
tradition.
baby. Yeah,
Which is pretty cool.
yeah, it was really cool. Again, which is why I keep the baby in my backpack to this day.
And why they're number
Why they're
two?
Number two.
Let's go to number one. Let's hear about it.
All right, number one.
If number one tops number two,
Yeah.
then you got a good story.
Yeah, so, well, it's not a good story. That's what's bad about it, I think. I mean, probably the stories are from, the experiences are from the first 4.
Okay.
But as far as like presentation and overall experience of presentation would be number 1, which is the International Association Chiefs of Police, or IACP,
Okay.
conference in San Antonio. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. In August, I think it was August. I don't know. Getting Shmee's looking up calendar. August, went to San Antonio, which obviously my home state, Texas, right?
Right.
Not from San Antonio, but from Dallas area. So went to San Antonio. The coolest part about that is we probably had 16 or 17 like officers from Missouri, and all of them I consider pretty good friends.
They traveled down with you?
Well, so they traveled to the conference, and then I just happened to be teaching at or speaking at it. Yeah.
Cool.
So they were there, which was
Sweet.
really neat. So I actually did 2 separate presentations, which I think is pretty unique, especially at that level, because it's an international conference, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like verified. Yeah, it was August. So yeah, I was selected to do 2 presentations, which was pretty cool because I've never done one.
Right.
Right, at an international conference. So I got 2. My first one was everything you need to know about cannabis, which is something I talk about a lot, right? Marijuana. And the second one, so truth be told, when I submitted the application, or I guess it'd be an application, to the IACP to present it, I didn't even have it. I completely made it up.
Right.
So they send an email out that says, hey, submit proposals to speak at this conference. So at the time, I was pretty frustrated with administration, leadership, etc. So I submit this completely made up course that I have called The Job Isn't Dead. And I talk about officer retention, officer morale, retention, etc. And submit it. Boom. Thinking, no way it's going to be selected. Right? So I don't know, 2 weeks pass, 3 weeks, whatever it is, and I get an email, boop, and it says, you've been selected for both. Everything you need to know about cannabis and Job Isn't Dead.
Sweet.
Okay? Which is a pretty big honor.
You are.
Right?
Absolutely.
Problem is,
Tell them what the problem is.
I don't have it, right?
That's a
done
problem.
It. Never done it. Made it up.
There's a problem.
Completely made it up. So, again, everything you need to know about cannabis, no big deal. That thing's done. Right? I can do that really anytime. And so the job isn't dead is, I feel like especially road officers have a problem with morale. A lot of agents have an issue with retention. And, something causes that, right?
Right.
So I thought that I could figure that out and did a lot of research. In fact, I would say I spent close to a month, 4 weeks, like solid 4 weeks of reading, looking at different research studies, which include Harvard, MIT, different speakers who speak on this, and kind of figure out what it was. So anyway, presented that at the IACP for the first time conference in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
In fact, it was standing room only, which is pretty cool, right?
That is awesome.
Yeah, so it started out with the room was full, and then by the end of it, people were just like standing along
Kind
the
of
wall.
filling in.
Yeah, it was
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. In the back of the room, like the doors were open, and like people were standing outside, like looking in.
I bet that kind of like when you saw that, what do you feel like? Because I feel like in that situation, it's pretty stressful. Well, I mean, nerve-wracking, I guess.
Yeah, no, I was stressed because I think I was given, I don't know, 60 minutes, maybe 70 minutes. Right?
Okay.
So I've never done the presentation, and if you've never done public speaking, then you always gotta think of how long your information is going to be.
Right.
Because you don't want to go into, let's say you're allotted an hour and your presentation ends up being 20 minutes.
Right. So you kind of have to allot for time.
Sure.
Maybe questions.
Interaction. Yeah.
Slide your PowerPoint slide and stuff. Yeah.
So, I reviewed it and presented it to myself in my room over and over and over. And finally it comes down to presenting it. And the first thing I do is I get up and I ask the guy who's like the room or in charge of the room, who works for the conference center, and I said, hey man, is the Wi-Fi good in here? He's like, yeah, no problem. It's all solid. So I get up there, my first video, click, buffer.
Wi-Fi ain't good.
Nothing. Wi-Fi is atrocious.
Yeah.
Okay. So now immediately got to wing it.
Right.
Right. So screw it. At this point, you're in it.
You're in it. You've got to
Full send, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full send. So I thought,
showbiz, baby.
And the coolest yet most unnerving part of the situation is, so all of my friends, so my 16 to 20 people, whatever it was,
right,
is sitting front row center.
They're there for you.
They're there.
They're
there. Which is really cool that they're supporting me. But if something goes bad, they're also there to see, like, the failure.
Right.
So,
which one of those guests, and I did some looking, is one of possibly a guest later down the road, right?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him about it yet. Really a mentor of mine. Taught me in my first academy. I consider him a friend.
I'm excited for it.
You know him.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Also one of my professors in college.
Yeah. Great dude. Great guy.
I really do want to reach out to him. So he was there, which he was really cool because he talked me through before he could see I was nervous, which I get nervous, but I don't get like worked up.
Right.
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 So he walks up and he's like, "Hey man, listen, you're going to kill it. Everybody's going to love it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You do what you do."
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Yeah, especially from a mentor.
Right.
You know.
Right.
That's awesome.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it meant a lot to me. So he tells me that videos don't work. And again, I'm like, I'm in it at this point, man. I gotta
go.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
So I get going. And it was going really well. And I get to 60 minutes and I still had another hour. Easy.
Really?
Yeah. So I basically end it. And, I end it with a story and got like a huge round of applause, which I've never gotten. Like a round of applause like that big.
Right.
Like powerful. So, it's road guys, it's sergeants, it's people. It's people that still work the road that really wanted to hear what I was saying. So it was really cool. So that's why it's my number one is my home state, a large conference, international, and I was able to present that presentation for the first time and get that type of response. And, based off that conference, I've gotten several other opportunities.
Right.
So I've got one scheduled in Oregon, one scheduled in again, back in Wyoming, 2 in Missouri, just for the job isn't dead one. So it must have went really well. And then one, hopefully, in another country, which I'm not going to say yet because it's not technically official. I've sent them the contract. I just haven't signed it.
Right.
Yeah. So definitely number one. Friends were there. It was just such a cool experience.
Got a lot of different areas that you've gone to, all which kind of just very different cultures, I guess, when you travel. Not so much on the education part of what you teach, but just bringing you in, and I'm obviously north side of the states compared to south. Different styles of hosting.
Yeah, and the really cool thing about I told you about different experiences, right? Mm. But the cool thing about the last one, the number one, is you get officers from all over the country, so like East Coast, West Coast.
So they travel to see this conference area.
Yeah, it wasn't me, but to go to the conference,
right,
and then from other countries there too, right? So,
sweet.
And the really cool thing about that is I realize, and I hope others realize, that we're all going through the same problems,
right?
Which I think is why the Job Isn't Dead got a lot of good feedback, is because we all kind of realize, oh my goodness, we're all dealing with these same issues.
Just in different areas.
Right? Maybe slightly different, but overall, officers are experiencing issues with retention, right? A lot of times people think it's recruiting, which isn't it, right? It's retention. It's keeping the good people that we have, not trying to find people to replace the good people that are leaving.
Right.
So it was really neat to see that experience and, to really talk about it. I can never really explain. It was just really neat to be a part of.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's going around. Pretty sweet to hear about the experiences. Now, where can they talk to you about like your classes? How do they get a hold of you?
Oh yeah. So great question. So I do a lot of conferences. I think right now we're basically booked through September. Okay, I get what's that?
July, I think.
Okay, July, but we're scheduling in September.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So we're really booked through July of 2023, and August, I believe, is also pretty busy, and we've already started scheduling in September, but you can go to www.extract-ed.com and schedule us that way, or you can just send us an email at training@extract-ed.com.
Perfect.
And yeah, we can answer all those questions and hopefully hook you up. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you offer multiple different classes as well, just in case.
Yeah. So a lot of times most of the time I focus just on drug stuff, but I really branch out to the leadership side of things because I think that's where cops are struggling the most, and morale.
Right.
Like a lot of us are just really struggling to even stay in the gig.
Yeah, absolutely.
To further education is cool, but let's first focus on staying with the job.
Yeah. absolutely. Well, that's some sweet information, and I'm pretty excited you shared with us.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity to.
Hey guys, I appreciate you guys listening to episode 2. Make sure you guys get online and vote for who you want to hear on the podcast next. We got a multiple different individuals who bring great knowledge and probably some great stories. And I'll have Ryan will kind of discuss what they bring to the table so you guys can understand what we'll be listening to.
Yeah, so we're still looking forward to who was going to be our first guest on the podcast. So we obviously have Bird, Shmi, and myself. But we're looking to bring in a fourth person, if you will. So we want you to vote. We'll be putting the polls out on social media, Instagram, extract_ed_training, or on Facebook at extractedtraining, all one word. So do we want a defense attorney out of the St. Louis area to be our first guest? Or do we want Professor Tim, who is a professor in, I'm just going to say criminal justice? Something.
The dude is awesome.
Yeah, he's professor, something criminal justice. He's awesome, mentor of
whatever
mine.
You want, he's got
phenomenal. Either way, he's coming on at some point. Do we want Machete, who is, once again, a phenomenal friend of mine. He's a school resource officer. He was in the Marine, or is in the Marine Corps.
He's reserves now, I believe, right?
Yep. Phenomenal guy. He and I worked in Monette together and just had a blast on the same shift. We looked forward to going to work every day. So he's phenomenal. Or do we want Trom?
I've heard a lot of cool stories about him.
Trom, also super good friend of mine. He doesn't know, or I guess even Machete, or even the professor. So the professor, Machete, or Trom have no idea I'm even going to invite them on this show. But do we want Trom, who is a road dog, current level of corporal, probably be promoted to sergeant very quickly, hopefully so, because he definitely deserves it. The cool thing about Trom is we agree on so many things. Other than he is my liberal road officer friend.
Right, and we'll hear him out.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's a great guy.
He's got great stories,
He's
it sounds
phenomenal.
like. But we'll hear him out.
Phenomenal. So, again, be looking for the poll on social media on who we're going to have first. We're going to have some other guests on here. I'd like to have a DEA task force officer on here who's super funny and has a lot of good stories, and I believe also taught my second academy. I don't remember, but he did. So until then, thank you guys for joining us for the highway, and stay safe out there, and peace!
That's showbiz, baby.